Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Game Idea series. Today we're doing the final episode looking at 5 other things that should be in F1 2021. If you have missed, by the way, any of the series so far, then there is a link to the playlist of this series in the description below. So go and check it out, as well as some other series as well that you may be interested in seeing on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I will be bringing you every bit of F1 2021 game news as soon as we get around to that time of the year. Obviously, that's usually around about 3 months before the before the launch. Now this was in April this year. Because of course it was slightly delayed due to 2019 due to COVID, but obviously they didn't really complete the game, if we think about that. But anyway, moving into today's video, let's firstly talk about Grand Prix mode. Now, I did a full thing on how Grand Prix mode should look like in F1 2019 game ideas. I will try and remember to do a card for the top right hand corner to should you be interested in seeing the Photoshop that I did for that. But basically, I do think that they need to build on Grand Prix mode. It's not been touched for about 1,000 years, to be honest. I think it's not been touched since like F1 20. Well, if we think about it, they haven't really added anything. They've added customizable time. That was in F1 2016. So it's been some time since they've actually and physically gone through and take a look at Grand Prix mode. I would add, obviously, you want to see customizable grids as well. You want to be able to customize the grid that you're on. You also want to be able to basically also have all the parameters. So you might remember in last week's episode about multiplayer, about being able to set fuel, tire wear, etc. That all needs to be added. Well, basically the options that you've got in multiplayer need to be added to Grand Prix mode, and including customizable. I would also add that I would love to see snow weather as well in an F1 game, just because it would be bonkers to be able to try and drive in the snow, considering the fact that it would also be somewhere for people who want to have their Christmas specials. I'm pretty sure that every YouTuber goes to other games for their Christmas specials, and it's no exception that if they had that snow mode, then we'd probably do that video on F1 and the F1 game. So yes, obviously I'll talk about gameplay at the general gameplay is the last note on this list. But the second point I'm going to move on to, because Grand Prix mode I've touched upon. Basically, we need more customizability in terms of length, the grids and the weather, just giving us more customization options in Grand Prix mode, and then obviously allow that to trickle through to career mode as well. But yes, the second point is young driver tests. This was something that was removed from after F1 2015, because let's be honest, they removed a lot of things from F1 2015 that we're still missing. Yes, the young driver tests I think should be as part of career, rather than maybe be available as well as a standalone mode as well outside the career mode, should you wish to run through those programs. But I do think that that's how you get into Formula 1, is having a young driver test. It was something that is in old Formula 1 games at Abu Dhabi, and I think they should bring it back into the game for 2021. It's an old feature. Also teaches you how to brake as well. So again, ultimately, yes, I do use a lot of assists when I drive, but would this really help me? I don't know, because again, we need to be able to have the current handling model to be able to see, okay, how it handles. And also, it's nice to have that continuity going through throughout the younger parts of the game. And also, in my team, I think they should get this back anyway, so you could see, because if you do have like a reserve driver, like a Formula 2 or Formula 3 driver, then you could put them in a young driver test and see how they do, and then you could, if they do well, then you could think, they've done well, then maybe we should bring them in our team. So stuff like that for the young driver test, where you get some goals, and then also to be able to see how everybody else is doing as well. Third idea is I've mentioned this a couple of times already, but Formula 3 in general, maybe not in career mode, but definitely they should have the Formula 3 cars on the grid, just to be able to have that extra. Although I'm doubtful that we're actually going to see Formula 3 cars in F1 2021, because if you take a look at now, they haven't even got this year's Formula 2 cars in yet. So the likes of Schwartzman, Longard, all those junior drivers who joined the grid Formula 2 shone, because 2020's grid is actually a lot better than 2019, but yeah, nevertheless they haven't been added yet, so that's definitely disappointing there. Fourth one is scenario mode. Now, I know we've already technically have a scenario mode, but I think they need to make. I said this with last year with the historic content. They missed an option with the Senna and Prost content, because that was just such a waste of time. And this year they haven't bothered doing anything, but I think they should have historical scenarios. Let's get the DLC for get like 5 races or something from the past, and just literally get the DLC for all the cars in that and the licensing for that Grand Prix, and then just literally run a scenario mode and see how the player does. That is definitely something that I think I would definitely take a look at in playing, if they had that as well. Obviously, we still yet to beat like the scenario mode from 2012, the Champions mode, where you could beat all 7 champions. That pretty much is the best scenario mode the Codemasters so far have come up with. Since then, they've been very drab and dull, and really nobody's really played them, so it'd be nice to be able to see scenario mode back. And the final mode is about gameplay in general, of which the main point has to be red flags. What I don't understand why they have not got red flags in the game. It's a core part of Formula 1 today. They removed them for, yes, you guessed it, F1 2015, and it's one of those features that has not come back since, and needs to come back in the F1 game to provide that extra layer of realism. Especially also if you get like a red flag and half the grid are taken out, then you get to start again from a standing start. So yes, I would definitely like to see red flags coming back into the F1 games as well. There's some other things as well, obviously to do with like the carcass temperatures, really need to have a look at as well, because obviously overheating is a big issue on F1 2020. I've not really had that much big of overheating, but I know there are other people that have had overheated. They overheat the tyres, and that's just it. They need to look a little bit differently about that carcass temperature stuff and all of that, and also to make sure that we don't get minus 285 degree, whatever it was, temperatures that JD had in his video as well, where he blew a gasket basically. So yes, I can't really fault though the HUD. I don't think there's really a lot of stuff. They've opened the for this year's game, they opened the display, so you can now randomise everything, even if you're on console. You couldn't do that. You could only do it on the PC in F1 2019. But at the same time, are we moving less and less towards mods? Because if you think about it, there's still that one crucial file missing for modding, and that's the language file. Again, that needs to be added. Codemasters, please add it. But that's where we are with gameplay. I haven't really got a lot to say on gameplay. I'm not really too... It's okay. I'm interested to see how they get the handling model, whether they get it right for 2022 compared to how they did when they made a minor change in 2019 last year, and that really destroyed the handling model of the car. So this year's handling model is a lot better. Obviously ERS is a little bit of an issue there, where it sometimes run out too late. I think they're probably going to find the right balance at some point. And of course the safety car as well, which is absolutely, let's just say, ruined. The safety car, because ever since I don't know what they did between 2018 and 2019. 2018 the safety car was fine, and then on 2019 it just didn't come out at all, and now it either comes out all the time or you get virtual safety cars all the time. It's ridiculous. It's got to a point where I'm having to actually mod the damage of the game in certain modes in order to get the safety car to come out. Not in driver career mode though. That driver career mode is purely from the script of the game itself. But there will be other series that I have modded the damage for, and I have done it in the past on F1 2019 as well, to bring out the safety car, to change it up a bit. Otherwise we just get some of the circuits, let's be honest, are a bit dull, and bringing out the safety car actually neutralizes the race and makes a more exciting finale. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. See more F1 2020 and 21 gameplay and game news as when it comes out. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and